Okay guys, so we are here today with DataKind and we are in the One Grand Canal Square space kindly provided by Bank of Ireland. Perhaps we'd go around and introduce ourselves.
I'm Jonathan. I help organise DataKind Dublin.
I'm Jean. I'm the Director of Global Communities with DataKind Headquarters.
I'm Connor. I also help John organise DataKind Dublin.
Fantastic. So maybe for one of you guys based in Ireland, would you like to tell us a bit about the event, what inspired it? What's it all about then?
Oh, so about 18 months ago, myself and John and Tim and Sam, who aren't in shot, decided there was a lot of technology meetups in Dublin or Python Ireland, and there's this huge pool of skills to use data and do some really interesting things, and we felt there was an opportunity to apply that in the charity space. And around the exact same time we found out about DataKind globally, and we're like, wow, we'd really like to do that. And there was a lot of backwards and forwards, and we now run this model whereby we talk to charities all over Ireland who have lots and lots of data, and then we extract that data with a brief to explore it a little bit more, and then we find some great volunteers, as you might see behind us, and we put the data, the volunteers and the charity together over the course of a weekend, and we deliver some really amazing results that impacts both the way the charities work and the people who the charity affect. That's it in a nutshell, I guess. John, have you anything to add?
Well, yeah, it's skills-based volunteering.
Exactly,
the idea, right?
exactly.
So people can do their day job for good and hopefully meet a load of people that are interested and interesting in doing the same kind of thing.
Exactly.
And then get more volunteer work out of it as well. So it's not just this event. The idea is that we converge and focus on this, but then we use this to go on and do more work in the community.
Okay, fantastic. So it acts as a catalyst for other good works.
Exactly.
Super. And from an international perspective, you've come all the way from New York.
Yeah. So what's exciting about what they're doing here is that a lot of the learnings, both in the way that they're organizing and the way that they're working with the charity organizations, can be applied on a global scale. So they are part of a network. Right now DataKind has 6 chapters around the world.
Okay.
And so they're sharing what they're learning, they're sharing how they're working with charities, what successes and failures, so that we can continue to scale the movement.
Super. And what's your role at DataKind? How do you go about connecting these groups on a daily basis? Or
in many different ways.
Yeah.
It is. So the network has set up, this is my second week on the job.
Okay.
So
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm coming in really with the process. Yeah. They've set up a fantastic infrastructure. So I'll be helping them continue to share their learnings. We're using tools like Slack and Google Hangouts and Hackpads and Google Docs, and there's a series of chapter learn-ins, and we do a Data for Good Summit, so we bring some of the leaders to New York City where DataKind is headquartered in the fall, so that we can help better connect.
Fantastic. So you provide that infrastructure and constant presence.
It's really about a unified presence, and just that we all have this common skill base, but we all apply it in different regions in a different way. I mean, there's a DataKind UK, and they work somewhat similarly to ours, but they do things slightly differently. In DataKind Bangalore, same difference. Really intelligent, skilled people, but the charity environment is slightly different, so they operate in a different manner. In Singapore, again, they've got data privacy is their challenge, effectively. They've still got the same set of technical skills, but then they have to overcome the privacy to actually deliver the impact. So it's not so much there's like an infrastructure thing, it's more about a way to, a channel to interact with all these people all around the world, with all the same body of skills, but with different challenges.
That's fantastic. And are there any kind of, I suppose, standout examples of projects that you'd like to call out, or to give an example perhaps of an interesting project?
There's a number of interesting projects happening here today.
So, a lot going on.
So there's, I mean, here today we're looking at malnutrition in southern Sudan with concern, which is like a big deal. So there's a lady, Catherine, behind us, who's just discovered that while arm measurement is an indication of mortality, it's not necessarily the best way to tackle infant malnutrition. They should look at it in maybe a different fashion. And there's the head nutritionist of the program from Concern, and this is a massive learning for her now. She's realised that. Then we've also got there's an education program called Mathletes, and we're trying to help them improve the way they educate their participants in a way that makes sure that they're engaged and tackle the hard parts of the education program, not just the soft ones. There's some of the local examples that we're doing today, but I'd like to just turn to Jean and talk about there's some really, really global stuff that's really high-powered.
Yeah, so last week, one great example, I was in DC for another data dive, and there was an organization, the Fair Labor Association. So they've been conducting audits on factories around the world, and all of the audits, the surveys that they were doing were in PDFs that were not accessible for them to really understand what was going on. So last weekend they created a database of all of the information there, and they were also working on an interface. So eventually what they hope to produce is, say you buy a pair of sneakers, you can go to this database, put that in, and be able to see exactly which factory built those sneakers and what the working conditions were.
Wow, that's super stuff. That's super inspiring.
Super. I think we talk a lot about all the good stuff we do and the projects, but there's this huge remit we have around educating people about the power of data for social good. So that's like 50% of what we do as well, to help people like yourself come along today and go, data, it's great.
To enthuse people about data.
Exactly.
I love it. Well, I'm certainly enthused, and the colour for space really helps as well with the creativity.
Excellent.
So Connor, Jean, and Jonathan, DataKind, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for speaking to Startup TV.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cheers.